Hello everybody and welcome back to the show on a beautiful Friday morning. It's Eid, and of course anyway I'm sure everybody is happy because it's the last day of the week, and we are talking about lots of happy things this morning. Especially we are on about music and dance therapy with some wonderful guests this morning in the studio. And I'm going to point out the next question to Dr. Priyashni. Doctor, now I know you specialize in Western music, you lecture in Western music. Dr. Samita here is more into Oriental music. Now we're talking about music therapy, and we're talking about people, especially doctors, consultants now using music therapy with individuals to kind of help them with all sorts of ailments, whether it's psychological or physical. But now I have got this question that's been really bugging me, so I really wanted to ask you about this. I mean, different people, that tastes in different music are like so different. Like sometimes a person who really loves to listen to hip hop or trance, or whether even if it's like normal alternative rock to heavy metal. Sometimes people, you know, or even if it's different kinds of music, people have their own taste.
Right.
So when it comes to practicing and kind of actually helping them, and I mean, you specialize in Western music, Dr. Samita specializes in Oriental music. How do you use the different genres to help them, or is there one particular set genre that you need to use for this sort of purpose?
Okay, that's a very good question. I think, like I said before, you have to look at the patient and look at their interest in music. That's a very important thing. So, for example, if the patient is coming from a Oriental background, or he or she is familiar with more Oriental sort of music, then it's very necessary that the music therapist prescribe music that is sort of familiar to that person, mainly with sitars or tablas, or using those kinds of instrumentation. But if the patient has a taste in, say, pop music, for example, let's say Elvis music, then you will have to start from there, what he knows, and then build from there. So it's not a, you can't really say this, you can't really stereotype that this particular music has to be used. That would be a wrong thing to do, because it really depends on the patient, and that's the job of the music therapist also.
I see. Well, because I was quoting from Bob Marley, where he said, one good thing about music is that when it hits you, you feel no pain. And definitely, Bob Marley wasn't the type who really listened to alternative rock, for example. I'm thinking. But doctor, I mean, so you do specialize in Oriental music, and what happens if a patient who likes a completely different genre comes to you? Would you prescribe him with something else?
No, really, now. I want to add something and for your answer as question. And really now, music therapy per se, it's, as I told you earlier, it's not listening to music. It's not only to listening to music. It has so many other things. Discussion on music, playing music, lyric discussion, and so many things. And therefore you may choose anything, as you said, anything what the client likes. And the other thing, in the literature and the research, what they say is usually classical music, either it's okay, whether it's Western or Eastern, that's Indian classical, or it's okay. Classical music has the most the benefits for health. And the other thing, especially that according to the research, what they say is rather more than the Western classical, Indian classical has the more effect on health. Therefore, and the other thing, even that there are so many the features of that music. You have to that if you are using to say, mostly we are using music therapy as the listening mode is the most widely used thing, and the criteria for that music. Let's say you have to select the tempo, you have to think about the loudness, you have to think about the frequency, you have to think about the rhythm also. Therefore, after looking all these things, you have to think about what type of music you have to use. The other thing, even though you use say people sometimes people say that I don't like music, and some people they love music. That's the thing. It doesn't matter you like or not, but we can use that one for that music to treat them, because sometimes the person who likes music may synchronize with that music very easily compared to the person who doesn't like. But at the end result is the same. Both will get the same benefit. That says that literature says, and research, they found that effect actually, and that's my experience also. Even though the people don't like that music, at the end they love that music.
But would you say that not all genres can be used for this purpose?
In dance therapy, there is a prescribed kind of music that you use, and generally you avoid using music with words because already it gives something else. And I think music is something that really connects to emotion, and a lot of music has inherent emotional qualities in them, and everybody listening to a certain type of raga or something would possibly feel a similar emotion. So music in dance movement therapy is used to bring out these emotions and to affect the movement in a certain way as well. And like you said, like the rhythm and the volume and all those things are also quite important when you're choosing your music. And as far as I know, in movement therapy, it's not really about the taste of the person who is coming. It's more about what qualities you're trying to bring out in the movement or in the session, depending on what you feel is necessary for the individual you're working with or the group you're working with.
Also, when it comes to dance therapy, what are its effects when it comes to psychological problems?
Yeah, it's because, like I said, the whole thing is, the principle is that the mind and body are connected. So if you're working with the body, it is going to affect the mind, and so that's kind of the premise. So of course there is going to be psychological benefits. So I can say, I can give an example of something that is not a disorder, but maybe some people have like movement and personality, for example. There's a big strong correlation. So personality is how you project yourself and how people perceive of what you are, and so you look at someone and say, okay, that person is a very confident individual, but how do you know that? It's the way they move, the way they present themselves, the way they use the space and all that. And so again, kind of changing that kind of behavior through improvisation or different exercises, you can affect your psychological state and make you a more confident person, for example.
I think we've almost come to the end of this show, so we need to quickly wrap up, but I have to ask this question from you. If one of you can give me a very quick answer for it. If somebody wants to use music therapy and dance therapy to help them, what are the options? How in Sri Lanka, what can they do? Can they do something?
Really, for my knowledge, at the moment, certain people are doing some scattered programs, but it has not yet been identified,
not properly established in the country, which is a pity, of course, because listening to them speak, it seems like dance therapy and music therapy is definitely an option, a good option that can be considered in terms of enhancing your life in different ways, no matter what problem that you have. Well, thank you very much for being with us on the show this morning. It was an absolute pleasure. I learnt a lot, and I'm sure our viewers learnt a lot too. Well, of course, please let us know your feedback on the show. Please log into our Facebook page. It's www.facebook.com/goodmorningsrilanka. That's facebook.com/goodmorningsrilanka. Let us know and we will get back to you, or you can send us an email to mtvsports@maharaja.lk. That's mtvsports@maharaja.lk. Okay, so before we end the show, we'd just like to wish you Eid Mubarak for all our Muslim brothers and sisters and friends, their families, to everybody. Eid Mubarak to you. I hope you have an amazing festival, and also we hope that everyone has a good Friday and a superb weekend ahead. So that's it from us at GMSL. Thanks a lot for being with us. See you again on Monday.